Welcome to this segment. This module is on lead scoring. Now, this is a little bit more advanced. So if you're not comfortable with computers very much, you're just going to use a simple email marketing, you may not need to watch this segment, this module. However, it's very, very important, in my opinion, that you understand lead scoring from a prospecting standpoint, because it really helps you gain insights and data on the low-hanging fruit of the people you're trying to prospect to. It's really good to have an idea of where their mindset's at, what their behavior is like, whether or not, who to pursue. Because what you can do, you can waste your time going after everybody and treating all your prospects that you're trying to call on the same. What we want to do is we want to get the ones that are most likely to say yes. We want to get the ones that are most likely to talk to us, to listen to us, to hear us, to give us an opportunity. And we do that. One way we do that is through lead scoring. So let's look at where we're at so that we can kind of see where we're going. So this is the revenue production marketing process, right? We start off with our strategy and our differentiation. And we talked about attraction and creating awareness. We talked about capturing that information. And we just finished off with engagement, creating content, cascading that content, and then emailing using content to our prospects. So what we want to do in this step is score them. Now, what that means is that we use a mathematical score based on their behavior. So as we go through this process, we kind of start off with marketing, kind of like a sales marketing, right? A process, and then we're actually in full-fledged marketing, and then we are heading towards sales. So we're just in between the gap between marketing, our marketing hat, and our sales hat. We're right in between, and the lead scoring is going to help us do that. Now, one of the things we want to do is we're sending those leads, those emails, right? We've just gone from that step, and so we're lead nurturing. And I want you to understand that companies that excel lead nurturing generate 50% more sales-ready leads at a 33% lower cost by Forrester Research. And then why is that? It's because it doesn't cost a lot of money to automate emails and content once you set it up to your prospects. It costs money and time to have someone that your highest paid, most reliable, dependable people to grow your revenue, or your time if you're in sales, to spend that time picking up the phone to see if someone's interested. Right? That takes time. You have to stop what you're doing. You have to get focused. Right? Yes, we need to do that, but we want to do that with the most likely people to say yes. And that's where lead nurturing is. So when we're emailing leads and we're nurturing them with content through and through, then we have a better chance. But as we send those emails on our campaign, we want to be lead scoring them. And lead scoring is a methodology used to rank prospects against a scale that represents the perceived value each lead represents to the organization. The resulting score is used to determine which leads a receiving function, sales, partner, teleprospecting will engage in order of priority. So in a nutshell, what it is when we send an email to somebody, we are scoring them, meaning we put a mathematical point system to their behavior. The points we put to each behavior are really kind of irrelevant. It's putting a point system to it. So let me give you an example. If I send an email and that person opens up the email, I can give them a score of 5 for that, or I can give them a score of 1. That doesn't really matter. What matters is that we put a score to their behavior. And we put a higher score based on more important, more in-depth, more tells on their behavior. So as an example, we might give 2 points or 3 points to someone that opens up the email. But if they click the video, if they click the link, if they download the ebook, we put a higher mathematical score to them. So maybe we put 5 points. So when we continue to send them through our campaign, they're getting points. And when the campaign is over, when you've done your 7 outreaches or your 9 or your 11, whatever it is, at any point in time, when that person hits a certain point level, let's say it's 30 points, that means they've done all these different behaviors. They've opened up your email, they've forwarded your email to people, they've clicked the link, they've downloaded the ebook, and they've done these behaviors. And so what we do is we recognize that once they hit 10 points, 20 points, whatever it is, you each industry is different, and you have to work through that through some trial and error. But it's not hard. You just kind of say, hey, on average, when people hit 30 points, they're a lot more responsive than if they've hit 10 points. So what we do is we create a list on a weekly, daily, monthly basis, whatever it is, and sit back and say, here's our list of people that have hit 30 points. These are the people that I give to sales. These are the people that now we go into sales, right? Go back to the slide here, right? These are the people that now sales gets involved. So it depends on, it doesn't matter on your process, but all of a sudden you sit back and say, hey, Aiden, here's 10 people that have hit 30 points. They seem interested. Reach out to them. Now your highest paid people, or the highest use of your time, is reaching people that are interested, not reaching people that have never opened your email. Why would you call them? They've never opened your email. They don't know who you are. They're not interested. So that is lead scoring, and we're going to move into the next video where I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. So I'm going to use Janitorial Marketing Solutions as the example for lead scoring, because that's my program, this program I know, this program I use. Now, not all programs do lead scoring. GetResponse does, I think HubSpot does, Infusionsoft does, I do, but not all programs. So GetResponse is a cheaper program that allows you to lead pages and stuff. So you want to check into it if you want to get into lead scoring, but here's why lead scoring is good. So let's dive in. So log in. And once we get into lead scoring, we want to make sure we are in our group. So you can have all types of groups on this one. You could have education groups, all that stuff, and they're separate, so there's no mistake. You don't have to create tags and stuff if you know what that is. So what we do is we look at lead scoring. So let's go to lead scoring. Now, again, lead scoring is about creating point systems, right? So we can create points based on behaviors. So we can go all the way down here to opportunities, which I'm not going to talk about today, but points for you sending an email, points for you sending a mail, points for a meeting you've had, points for leaving a message, points for a phone call. So when you go into the system and you leave a phone call, you just let that know and it automatically adds these points. You can do that, but that's not what we're really talking about today. We're talking about more for the activities that they do, the activities that your prospect does. So we go here, right? These are activities that they've done. So if they've read your email, we give them 5 points. If they've clicked an email, like a video or something, we give them 5 points. If they forward your email, we give them 5 points. If they take a survey, if you sit back and you send them a survey and they partake in it, you give them 5 points. So that's how they accumulate points. Now, on the forwarding here, we don't know who they forward it to. We just know that they forward it. So as an example, let's say you send me an email and I go, oh, this is really great. And I forward it to my sales team. And let's say I have 5 people. Then it's 5 points, 5 points, 5 points, 5 points, 5 points. So that person gets 25 points really fast. So you could make the forwarding down to 2 points, because what you want to do is you want to get to when someone creates a lot of points. or when they've hit the certain amount of points, that there's a level of interest. So we don't know how much interest is on the forwarding. So just recognize you don't want to make your lead score too low when you call them, and you don't want to make it too high. You want to get it just right so that you have constant leads in your funnel that are interested. So let's move on to what that might look like. Okay, so we've talked about the lead scoring and adding point systems. Now let's move to finding out and how we find out who are our warm leads, who are the best people to reach out to. So what we do is we simply go in and we create an email as an example. And so what we can do is create our email. And you'll notice here that automatic action, what we can do is click this and say if a recipient earns 10 points, add to, and I move them to a leads group because they're gone from prospects, and if they hit the points, they automatically go into another group. I want to separate the suspects, the prospects, the leads, the opportunities, and I want it to be automatic. I don't want to have to continually touch things. So that's what I do. So we create the email, we send out the email. Now, once we've sent out our emails a number of times, then what we do is we can simply go to our reports. And you can do this with other programs as well. And so we go for hot reports. We look for this group. I'm not going to have anything in test, so I'll have prospects. Okay, go hot. This group of at least, I'm just going to go 100 points. Just who has hit 100 points. And in the last 12 hours, I'm going to say in the last, let's just go in the last year for demonstration purposes, but we could change that to the last day, the last 7 days, the last 8 weeks, the last 3 weeks, whatever it is. And what this is doing is telling us here's all the people that have hit their points. So you're going to see that here we have, in this case, it's me. Now this is a brand new group I've started, so I don't expect, and I don't want you to see personal information. So you'll see that I've hit 168 points. So this would show me that I want to reach out to this person. And I can add these two to another group, right? I can select the group. Right, you can see the group. And I pick the group, there's prospects, and I add them to the prospects group, and we're done. All right, so the last thing I want to show you with respect to lead scoring, lead nurturing, gathering the data on who we're going to reach out to, who we're going to pick up the phone and call, because we want the low-hanging fruit. So what we do is we simply go to our email and we track our emails. So we know people have hit scores, but we're going to wait for the score, but we can also do this as well. We can also just go to our email, and this one I did recently on coronavirus, and click summary, and out of the 200 people, I had 20% open rate, which is really good. And then I click here, and I see all the people that have opened it, and some people opened it 2 times. And so every single time these people open it, they're scoring. They're getting point systems allocated to them. And you'll see all the different people that have clicked the different links within the email. What that tells me, it tells me the people that are interested. It tells me data. It lets me narrow my prospects to people that have some type of engagement and awareness of me. And that is lead scoring. You don't have to have it, but I hope you can see how it really can benefit you in prospecting, especially if you're sending out 50 new emails a day, you can see how it's gathering and gathering. You want to be able to reach out to the people that are most likely going to know who you are and engage with you in a conversation to get that all important meeting.